You have been sentenced to 22 years in prison.
Above all normal people, there is a storm. Darkness, failures, pain, and rain is on the cut path of death and destruction. Some of us are the cause of our storms. The alternative is life or death people are born into. Trouble ahead? Embrace the chance of a dramatic change. Action generates inspiration. Move slowly if you must, but teaching you how to survive and making you understand what you are physically and mentally capable of is a life test/lesson. Desperation can force people to crack under pressure. Face prison straight ahead and never be the same. Have a plan. Challenge yourself to dream without fear. We have the authority to create the perfect storm, a world of paradise and no family drama. Everyone's future could soon reshape the nation. Faith opens the door to freedom, hope, and the courage to speak your truth. Progress is worth flexing when one abstracts maximum learning from their experiences. The sources of our strength is awareness through education. Regroup and correct your course. There are many rewarding opportunities you will earn by taking personal responsibility for your thinking and behavior. Everyone must face the storm. Welcome, everybody. This is another episode of Felon Vision. Today, I wanted to bring to y'all a project that I had executed some years back when I was incarcerated. Just to give you a storyline on it, it was a piece done for the Washington Post. A good friend of mine, Anthony Wynn, if you're a subscriber, if you're a follower, you might have seen one of my videos where I did the interview over the phone. And he kind of spoke on fatherhood program and the vision board. Well, this is that vision board, Felon Vision, not a coincidence. But I just wanted to take y'all into my thoughts and my mind on how this came about. It was something that I definitely was extremely proud of. It brought something out of me because I had to put so much time into it. It took a few weeks, maybe 2 to 3, almost 3 weeks, not quite. But it was a challenge. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I didn't know a sense of direction. I didn't know where I was going with it. I just knew that with the Washington Post posting that they wanted things to kind of represent our incarceration. You know, your mindset, and you can express that through whether it was art, whether it was poetry, whether, you know, it was, well, the contest had to be either art or poetry. And basically, this is what I came up with. And it was a funny story because, like I say, it took me weeks to do it. And the things that I would have normally been into while I was doing my time, I wasn't into, you know, whether it was playing cards with individuals and this, that, and the third. So they definitely was recognizing my absence. But for me, it was saying if I was going to do something, I was going to commit to it. And like I say, I was proud of what manifested of that, how the whole thing even came about. But I want to give you insight on just the materials that went into this as well. And if you look at just this outline, the backdrop, the canvas at the end of the day, it was a manila envelope cut straight down the middle, and I just opened it up. You know, the flap here would be the part that you would seal over, lick, and stick it closed. But you know, with the limited resources of materials and things of that nature when you're incarcerated, this is mostly what I had to use. I had to use tape from stickers that, you know, advertise deodorant and things of that nature just to stick the things down. But, you know, what made it so precise and meticulous is that, you know, we don't have scissors. So I had to use a straight edge razor to cut out every, you know, little piece of paper that was up here. And uh, like I say, it's just a work of my art. No, I mean, it's just what starts in my mind. And I'm gonna give you insight on it. I wanted to also give you a thought like, you know, people never know when people create art, you never necessarily know what that artist was thinking at the time that they came up with a piece, you know, and I take that as within music, you know, just for an example, you know, Jay Z, one of my favorite artists or whatever. So I used to listen to him, but I used to interpret things that he said based off my own experiences. And I guess that's the way you look at art as well. It depends on what kind of road you travel and what you've been exposed to in the sense of how you're going to look at an image or look at something and basically judge it or read into it and absorb it. But I wanted to be clear of what I was thinking. Because, like I say, with Jay Z being one of my favorite artists, he did a book called Decoded. And it's similar based off the movie The Da Vinci Code. There's a lot of things that goes into that, you know, if you ever seen that movie. But within Jay-Z lyrics, he always said that in one of his songs, he said that Jigga Man is diesel when he lift the 8 up. And I brought up this point just to say that if you're not in the mindset of that artist, you may not know what he necessarily was talking about. And I was oblivious to exactly what he was talking about until I read this book, Decoded. And basically, when I heard that lyric, Jigga Man Diesel when he lift the 8 up, I thought diesel in the form of heroin. That's you know, another name for heroin or whatever. And then he's saying he lift the 8 up. So for me, I interpret that as that he was moving heroin, could have been 8 bricks, 8 kilos, or something of that nature. But that's just how I grasped it. And then when I read the book and he said Jigga Man is diesel when he lift the 8 up, I didn't know that he was in reference to Shaquille O'Neal. Granted, you know, those who may remember in the peak of his career, in the height of his career, they used to call him Shaq Diesel. And come to find out, the 8 was Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? And Jay was describing the moment of watching the championship game. They won. You know, Shaquille O'Neal ran over there, picked them up. And at the time, Kobe jersey number was 8. So Jigga Man is diesel when he lift the 8 up. So I was like, wow, you know, I respected the art, I respected the lyric, but it gave me a different kind of understanding in that moment when, you know, I read it and I got a full grasp of what that individual was thinking in that moment of artistry. And that's what it is for me. Like I like art that make you think. I like things that, you could visualize and stuff of that nature. As you can see, I have a very vivid imagination, but I can't draw a lick. But overall, I wanted to explain some things and why I came up with this configuration of different images and pictures. And to me, it kind of represented a whirlwind, a storm. It's kind of like all over the place. And that's how I came up with the title, The Storm. And it was funny because I came up with that title, and then it was like certain things was just popping out at me. And I remember a long time ago, my mom once told me, she was like, the eagle fly above the storm until it settles, and then it come back down. And I guess that was just something that I never forgot. You know what I mean? That was uh a Jew that I had held on to know that you can always rise above the madness, if you make that choice. And that here is what the eagle is representing. You could see in the form of like the sun and sun rays. You could see the thunder here, is little tornadoes if you can't, pinpoint it out. But that's how I came up with the title for this art here. And just to give you an idea, so you have things that if you had positive thoughts and you on the right path and you doing things, or you got ambitions or motives in life, you value certain things, that's what I wanted to put within here in this section. The other side of it is kind of the madness or the chaos that I may have once caused. I say, within my neighborhood, I made it rain, sleet, hail, snow. I brought some form of a storm, and it always wasn't the best side of it. You got two sides on the storm, where if you notice, you get a storm, but on the other side, when it's all said and done, is often sunlight, is often beautiful and a bright day after all that mayhem. You just have to figure out how to survive it. But overall, just giving you a little bit more detail into what I was doing. Maybe you could see the word choice right here, and you see the two C's is face in opposite directions. And maybe if you into style and things of that nature, you will realize that maybe it could have been pushed by, it could have been put out there by like a Chanel symbol. It come off as a Chanel symbol. I couldn't think of the brand, but to me, I put the two C's not to represent the Chanel brand, but saying that you had a choice. You had to go to a choice to go this way, or you had a choice to go that way. And at the end of the day, for me, this side is choosing positivity. You look at the silhouette of this black figure, you see, his brain, and within his brain, I put the continent of Africa, just to represent the conscious mind, an individual that know who he is, know where he from, know the essence of who he is. I think within the journey of finding out who you are, you have to tap deep into your roots. So I wanted, that consciousness of it to stand out within the art. And you might can't see it all the way through, but he's facing a library, a slew of books, even with a picture of the guy, Sidney Poitier. He had an autobiography that I wrote. I mean, not that I wrote, I'm tripping, that I read that was real good or whatever. And that's why I put that together as such. Um, to me, I had the suitcase. You see the office job inside the suitcase, and you see the money. If that opportunity for a corporate job, that was like my mentality. At the same time, you see the Timberland boot, and to the Timbs, to me, I think being creative and stylish as we are, we took a working man boot and made it swag. You know what I mean? We made a style of it out of it. But I put it up there for both of those reasons, not to only tap into the style of things, but also understanding the hard working man that put in that 9 to 5 through all grunt work. And you see over here, I have a piece of stone with a crucifix, a cross in it, and it's just saying whatever you believe in, whatever you stand on, whatever you see as your higher power, just make sure it's within stone. Make sure is unbreakable. And the butterfly, things of that nature, just represents prosperity and a sense of peace, a sense of changing and growing and blossoming. At the end of the day, even down here, I wanted to represent the household and the family, new car, dog, um, the beaches and the drinks. That's just about enjoying life, vacations and things of that nature. Uh, I have a tree right here, and within the tree, you can see the roots that kind of come off. But I use words to represent the roots that's rooted that's holding this tree together. And in the middle of the tree, it say the foundation of deep roots, and the words that come off is dignity, love, uh, values, and just stuff like that. Just the certain words that's just gonna be the foundation of who you are. Is rooted to who you are and what you represent. But for me, like I say, it was another side to this storm, which was more devastating in a sense. You see over here, I have like the trap house. This is a drug needle. Those bullets. Just from the environment and the type of things that I grew up around, the type of things that I was into, that I contribute, within or whatever. Even about, I don't know if you could see within here is the word envy, and it's spelled out of different forms of currency. Um, One of the things that stood out to me, even during time, of course, I did 22 years, and like I say, my whole platform is just to change the stigma of who an individual went in as, and what that individual represent on the outside coming out. But one thing that was in there that I always seen, that you had this telephone, you have a receiver, and to me, I put a bunch of words of the things that you would hear from this receiver, and I put a lot of things that you would speak into the receiver. And even on the handle of the phone receiver, I have family and friends. And those are the people that you're going to be communicating with. And that's what I want people to understand, that because you fall on hard times, or because you find yourself in these situations, we are still human. And I think that's what prison reform is all about. Reform come in the form of changing laws and changing the environment of prison in general. But you have to do that within the individuals that's doing this time. Know what I mean? It ain't necessarily a specific program that's gonna help you get on track. It's your own state of mind to say whether or not you gonna think positive and think on a level of what you know you could accomplish. And for me, doing vision boards, that's what it was about. I put in the things of what I knew got me in trouble, but I also put in the things that was going to keep me out of trouble. Know what I mean? And even over here, I want to take you back. Like, you have a representation of a teacher and three black students, and on the chalkboard it say letters for today is F you. That's what I kind of feel about uh, education. I think education within prisons, I felt like that because I remember a time where they had college courses and things of that nature, and people felt like because we convicted felons and we don't have the funds and the resources that these grants or these Pell Grants and these things shouldn't be presented to us. They shouldn't be given to us. But I just often say that I hope that people realize that these are the same people coming back to society. And if you're not giving them something that they can rely on to be better, then what do you think they're going to bring back into society before they get caught up again? Know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that that cycle is there. And I think that's what I'm trying to also combat with speaking about uh, prison reform or whatever, just showing people overall that you have people that change, and that story need to be told. And I think this was like a part of my journey and trying to tell my story, tell the Washington Post in the sense of what did I feel, what have I been going through, but what do I still have hope for? At the end of the day, I remember people walking past me and was like, "Man, what are you trying to write a ransom letter to the warden? What you got going on?" But I think once it started to come together, and the more I kept my interest in it, and the more as it built, other people found interest in it, and it opened up so many different conversations. Because, like I say, I could look at this and paste these pictures up there based off my own experiences. You could look at some of the things that's on this same board, and you're gonna have your own experiences of what you went through throughout life. And that's what I think art is about. It's just about expanding your mind. It's about having a vision and executing that vision if it's something that you could actually execute, or just being in the bliss of allowing your mind to be free. That this at the end of the day, this project wasn't just that, because I didn't win. I would have liked to know what did win, because like I say, I don't know what could have been better, but apparently something was, but overall, you know, I was I felt ecstatic just being able to get a letter from the Washington Post thanking me for my participation. You know what I mean? To be in prison and to commit to something like that, I think it was big for me. Some people, look at opportunity and will let it walk right past them. To me, I just was like, I'm gonna dive in, and one way or another, it'll be exposed. It'll be shown to the world. And I think, like I said, it was a form of therapy to me. Know what I mean? I went through my traumas. I went through certain things, just reminiscing that, looking at pictures and remembering things that I just been through in life. But then also knowing or having that vision of where I actually want to go. And overall, I think, or I hope that y'all enjoy this piece, enjoy the art and the pictures within it. I hope you enjoy, what it really took for me to go through magazines, hundreds and hundreds of magazines, and just pull out what appealed to me, even with the words. The words came out as, this formulated as I cut it. I didn't have to look for a specific word. As I was just cutting certain words, it just was laying out and coming to me as such. And I hope you understand the artistry of what really went into this. Is, like I say, it's definitely something I'm highly proud of, and it's just something that I wanted to bring back to y'all because, like I say, it's all about thought. It's all about vision. You have to see where you want to go to be able to get there. You have to know that is a path. You have to know that is a light that could possibly guide you, and that's just what I wanted to bring to y'all. A piece of content that's gonna make you think and hopefully appreciate. So if you like it, if you got questions, if you got comments, please post. Please, I definitely respond. Please hit me in the comment section. And if you know somebody that's going through something, and it don't have to be the individual that necessarily did time. You know, People that have loved ones that never did a day in prison could feel drugged into it. Whether you going to do the visits with that individual, subjecting yourself to searches and things of that nature. We all human. We all go through things, and we just here to support each other and try to, you know, clean that stain or that stigma that felons carry.